So today is the Fred Icke road race. It's in CROSSWINDS today. The race starts at 12:45, 3rd of March, by the way. So it starts at 12:45. I've just finished breakfast. The time's 8:25. So we're gonna leave fairly soon, but no rush just yet. And I'm feeling pretty good for it. I think I've tapered pretty well, and I've got energy. I did have a small little injury in the last few days. Nothing that really inhibiting. Weather conditions are pretty brutal. It's going to be 29, 30 degrees, so it wasn't as much as it's going to be where I live in Melbourne, which will be 36. But it will be around 8 to 24 km/h winds. That's the range during the day. The time I race is about 1 o'clock. It will be 23 km/h. It's a northeasterly. And so that will cause quite a fair bit of stress during CrossWinds sections. And that's what's really going to split up today. It's quite undulating and hilly, a little bit fairly like the Yarra Boulevard queue if you've ever been there. It's a little bit like that, but that's sort of covered by trees. Where we're going is good luck to all the firefighters. There's not a lot of tree
anyone who lives in the areas of Bunyip,
and it can be split to pieces by wind. So I'm just going to make sure that this entire time that I'm racing up at the front, and I'm the one putting everyone in the gutter, and I'm not being put in the gutter.
Where's our driveway?
So here's our driveway.
Okay, off we go. No, Doug.
Oh,
Doug.
Doug. I've just got 2 cameras on.
Where's your permit, mate?
Yep. Right.
No, hard copy. Come on, I'm a paper man. I'm not a bloody.
Okay. Yeah. And Terence Hoare. Yeah. And Paul Speed. And everyone else I know is because they were here earlier.
Okay, so all of these other ones.
So I'm looking for Caleb Henry from Bendigo.
Caleb's not riding.
Not riding, definite scrum. When bumps a hip and pushes you out into the path of another car, you're still dead. Doesn't matter if you're in the right or the wrong. Squashed in front of the car is dead. Alright? It's happened. I've been at races where stuff's gone very badly wrong. Something very, very innocent. Are they all?
So welcome to the Fred Icke Road Race 2019. I'm in B grade. It's held every year at CROSSWINDS, which is just outside of Ballarat, just north of it. We go around the sort of the forestry area and then all the plantations. Very fun race. It's undulating, not too hilly, not too flat, sort of in between. But really what makes this race so sort of difficult is definitely the winds. And today the winds definitely played a role. And as you can see on the screen, the rolling turns just kind of stopped. And it's kind of usual for individual races, where eventually we'll all be rolling turns, and then one stops, another stops, until there's nothing left, no more cohesion, and I just rolled off the front. And thanks to this farmer who had nice water spray over his farms, thanks to him, that was really nice. But anyway, I rolled off the front. Got with me Paul Speed just behind me, Richard Link in the orange, and I think it was Oliver McLean in the Campaneros kit. Us 4 rolled very nicely together. We got a pretty good advantage. The crosswinds coming on our left side, so that's why the fast lane is on the right, so we're sheltered by the riders on the left side. So when we're sort of passing, it's a lot easier. We don't have to spend as much energy. And the guy on the left side, well, they don't have to spend as much energy, and they're protecting the guy who's on the right side. So really, that's how you get really good speed and keep the momentum up. It was a little bit dodgy doing rolling turns with 4 riders. It's a little bit hard. It can definitely be done. Definitely very hard to do it when you're rolling turns with 3 people. That's fairly difficult. But doing rolling turns when you're establishing a break is really powerful. Because the speed just keeps going up, and you can really keep the momentum going. Especially if there's a crosswind as well, where you don't want one rider to stay on the front for too long, and then they'll just slowly drag down the speed. It's good to keep the pace and the intensity straight up there. And with the rear camera, you can't really see them at all. They're kind of gone. I wasn't sure who. For my calculations during the race, there was about 12 people that could chase us, as being 4 of them would, I just assume 5 people would sit on. Campaneros wouldn't chase, and that there's 5 dedicated chasers, and then 12 if they all banded together, of course. But the Campaneros, I just assumed if we had a Campanero with us, we'd be having a good chance for victory. I know Paul Speed's a pretty good TT rider. He's beaten me quite a few times on the TT rigs, so he was pretty strong. And I know Richard Linky's, I'm fairly certain he's a pretty strong rider as well. But we all worked well, and doing these sort of areas where it's sort of, hopefully you can get out of sight, out of mind. That's the goal I was aiming for. That's the thing I was trying to aim for. And on these sort of country lanes, it's pretty easy to, it can be pretty hard to sneak away when it's a long straight road. So if the plan is to get the break established with a big gap as soon as possible, and just trying to be able to hold it. And with areas that have crosswinds, sort of suit us, sort of suit the breakaway. A little bit more so than the peloton. Depends what's happening. Tailwinds definitely suit us more, just because the speed differential will be very small. But on the headwind sections is where the peloton can really annihilate advantage. And thankfully, there wasn't too much block headwind. There was usually a crosswind on either tail or cross. So it was a good day for us. I really enjoyed being in the breakaway. Always really fun. And I figured I'd give my throw my hat in the ring for a win in the breakaway. So yeah, and thank you all for watching this video. A little bit shorter this week. Didn't get as much footage as Crits, just because it's a lot harder to get footage in road racing, especially if there's 2 laps. As you can see there, that's us coming through.
Keep going!
Good day in the end.
Do an post-race interview today, and it's because when TJ got back to the car he was beyond knackered, so we didn't do the post-race interview, but let's do it now.
Finished 7th. It was a chop till you drop at the finish, and at the finish my legs couldn't move because they were frozen solid. I went into a break within like 12k in, and we got me, Paul Speed, I think a Campaneros guy, and Richard Linky. We all worked pretty well together, and then we just sort of got caught just before the feed zone on the 2nd lap after a hill, after the 3-kilometre hill. We didn't slow down that much. We just held constant pace, but the chase group just simply caught us. I mean, it makes sense that they caught us because we're going up a hill and there were some fresh legs that were attacking, and there was a few moves, and of course I followed them and they just caught us up. And then there's about a guy went solo, and we pretty much didn't do anything. It was really sporadic chasing, and in the last 10 kilometers we all rolled together and he survived. The lone break survived until the last meter, really.
And tell us, Terence, what was it like today? 34 to 36 degrees. It was very hot out there. One of the subjects that keeps on being discussed today from all the groups was the farmer's sprinkler.
Oh yes, so I think on the back end of the course, a farmer had sprinklers, and a massive sort of one stream of spray was just going over the road, and it didn't look that bad, but once he went through it, it felt like you'd been in the shower for about five seconds.
Someone says that they reckon he done it on purpose.
Well,
let's hope so. You needed it.
I don't really have any sort of point of view other than positive, really.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, everyone's talking about how good it was.
So yeah, I mean, it dirtied the glasses, but I mean that's pretty
small price
trivial.
to pay.
It's pretty trivial when
when you're cooling down that quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, Burger Edge, and just noticed I've gotten burnt just here. Glasses live here. Sun shines there, and I'm feeling very crampy. Legs they've definitely been torn to pieces today. So recovery is 47 hours. So we finished. I didn't blog our food because that's gross. I don't want to have to edit me eating. I don't like it. It's gross. Strangely, I've got zero appetite. I did not want to eat at all. Thank you for watching All But The Bike. Subscribe here, watch our latest video here, watch different content over here, and follow me on Instagram, Strava and Facebook.